Hey everybody, welcome to Life at Sunny Lee. And it's been an interesting week, to say the least. It's been one of those weeks that the universe just didn't quite feel right. Just kind of like you're waiting for the other shoe to fall. And boy, did the shoes fall this week. On Sunday, we went to church, and I just had the feeling something wasn't right. And I don't know if it's because we got our schedules mixed up a little bit, because Doug left for his church really early so he could get back home in time for the Purdue basketball game tip-off. So we were kind of different schedules and stuff, and I thought, well, maybe that was it. Then after church, I decided that I should check the cameras. I wanted to see if Doug got home, and something told me I needed to check Dusty. And sure enough, she was in her crate, tearing up her bed. So I called Doug because he was home, and it was about 10 minutes before the game started. And I asked him to go out and close the door, get her out of the crate and close the door, and I figured that'd be it. Well, he was on the phone. He goes, she's got a piece caught in her mouth. Well, it gets between her front teeth, and the only way you can get it off is to actually grab her and pry it out off of her teeth, because it gets stuck in between her teeth. And you gotta be careful because you're putting a lot of pressure pulling that off. Well, he got that done, and then he started to come in the house, and she came in the house with him. And not knowing how well he was going to be able to handle her, because he's not really handled her by himself inside before, we went ahead and decided to come home. And he's done a good job. He had her in the front room with the baby gate up, and had her fairly well under control. I mean, she was really happy, and she was so proud of herself for getting inside the house. So anyway, I got her and put her back in her room, cleaned up everything, and took the bed out completely. She now has no bed whatsoever. I had to take that out, and then I had to take the heating mat that we had underneath the crate. I had to take that out because she could now get to it by not having the bed on top. So she has no heating mat right now, and it's pretty weather. She doesn't need the heating mat. She's got the heater in there for really cold nights, but it's warming up, so there's no really need for the under crate heater right now. And hopefully by the time we need it again, she will have grown up enough to not tear everything up. She's only 10 months old, so she's technically still a puppy. So anyway, of course there's a few choice words, about her misbehaving. And we had to change our plans, and we ended up going back to town, just Bill and I, to eat, and because Chris decided to stay home and watch the game. And it really turned out to be a blessing, because we spent almost 2 hours. We ran into an old co-worker friend of his and her daughter, and we spent 2 hours, I know at least that, sitting there eating and talking and really having a great, wonderful afternoon. And teased my husband afterwards. I said, see, God used Dusty today to give us a wonderful afternoon. So I told him he needed to apologize to the dog. Anyway, that's what our Sunday was. And then on Monday, again, things just didn't seem right. Something was going to happen. I knew it. I took Dusty out, and it was hit and rain all night, and so it was kind of wet. And she was doing really pretty excited, running around. She saw something in the woods, took off after it. The ground was slippery. Of course, I fell into a mud puddle and came up. Luckily, I was sitting there laughing, because first of all, I was laughing because I didn't get hurt. I was laughing that we flew over the sidewalk and we missed the gravel and we hit the mud puddle and not the gravel or the sidewalk. So I did not get hurt at all. And then I had to laugh because of the puzzled look on her face when she turned around and saw me from being upright to being on the ground, and running back and checking on me, and then deciding, oh, this is a new game. And so I had like a 70-pound dog jumping all over me, back and forth, like, oh wow, we're playing in the mud. And she was having a ball. Needless to say, I was glad it was warm. Glad it wasn't really super cold because we both were soaking wet when we came in. And so I had to change and clothes and everything, and then we went. And we had to go to, my husband and I had to go to the apartments because one of the tenants was having trouble with their tub draining. We got that unclogged, and then we went and got some dog food and stuff for the pup. Tuesday morning, still waiting for the other shoe to fall. And 8 o'clock that morning, Alexa says there's somebody at the front door. Okay. Our EMC had come to change out our electric posts. Now, we knew they were going to be doing this, but they were supposed to schedule it. But they had come with their generator and everything because they knew that Doug worked from home. And they hooked up the generator so he could still work, but we had limited electricity. And then they got the first PO changed, and then we got more electricity. It's still kind of limited, but it was better while they changed the other PO. They still had one more PO to change before they left. And I had my hair appointment and got my hair done in the afternoon. I always enjoy that. It's nice, relaxing one-on-one time. Talk with a really good old friend of mine who does my hair. She's been doing it for, gosh, I don't know, forever. And then on Wednesday, was it Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday they were out here early in the morning and finished with the other PO. So all 3 POs are done. And then, of course, you had to go around and change all the clocks because of electric being off. And I spent the most of the day home. Chris and Bill had an appointment in Seymour. I stayed home and cleaned in the basement. And mopped the floor and did things in there. Had to set more mice trap because I had my petunias. I have a whole tray of petunias. I now have about a fourth of a tray of petunias. So I need to restart my petunias again. I restarted the hot peppers because they've eaten all of them off. And so I put the petunias on the pool table so they were away from the grow lights. And I put up a fake dummy tray where the petunias were, and I covered every inch of that shelf with either glue traps or the snappy traps. And next morning I had caught 2 mice. One was dead on arrival, and the other one was still alive, and my husband took care of it. So hopefully we have no more mice in the basement, but I still have all the traps set, and we have not had any signs of mice in there since. And I used a let's see, it was Mr. Clean soap with peppermint essential oils in it to mop the floor. And the peppermint is supposed to repel, the smell is supposed to repel mice. So hopefully that works. Then on Thursday, let's see, had Dusty out for a long time. And I found that the longer she's out during the day, the less snippy she is. And it was drying off, and so I spent a lot of time outside with her that day. So never really run, just relax. And she did much better. Then we had to go to Columbus for a meeting for Chris. Then we had another problem. We had taken the Fiesta in to have it checked out, and it did not check out well. So we're getting a second opinion on that. So we were stopping to pick it up and have Chris drive it home, and while Bill and I were going to go out and get some other stuff that we had to do, run some errands. And we no more pulled out of the parking lot, and the Jeep started acting up. The 4-wheel drive came on, and we could not get it to turn off. So now we have to figure out what's going on with the Jeep. If we just had it in, it checked out fine. So we're going to have to figure out what to do with that. So thank goodness we have bought a new car, so we have something good to drive this, gets us where we need to go. Then when I got home, he was changing out some of the landscaping stuff, and he saw a snake. Now, I didn't think anything about it because little garter snakes are around here all the time, except when I went to the goldfish pond. There was a snake, and there were my goldfish in its mouth. So I have gone down from 15 goldfish down to maybe 2 or 3 that I can see, and I only saw one on Saturday night. So hopefully he does not eat all my goldfish. And I was so really upset, of course, you know. I mean, some of these goldfish have been there for years. I know the one was at least 5 years old, at least. I mean, I can't remember the last time I put goldfish in there. And, you know, go down from 15 down to 3. And like I said, I can only see one Saturday. So, may have to go and buy more goldfish. I buy the little feeder ones and let them grow up. You know, because I can't afford the big ones. The size that he ate was now about a $10 fish from what last I priced. So he got a very expensive lunch. And then on Friday, we took a road trip down to Jeffersonville. That was an experience. My new car allows me to hook the phone up, and it shows the map on the console. And thank goodness, because we had so many detours because of road close construction and wrecks that we were all over the place. But we finally got down to Jeffersonville and got what we wanted to taken care of, and got back home. And I was going to heat up a pizza, frozen pizza. I took it out of the box, and this was the most lopsided pizza you ever did see. We both looked at it and said, nope, it looked like it had been thawed out a couple of times and refrozen. So we ended up just fixing hamburgers. And then on Saturday we went and just got groceries. Spent a lot of time with the dog, and she's doing much better. Saturday night I went to train her, and she got in the house. So our training turned into place training. I'm pretty flexible about my training. I try to train something every night, and we try to review at least once during the day of things that she knows. And right now we're working on threshold, and means that you have to set until the door opens, and then you wait until you're told it's okay to go through the door. She's getting better about that. She's got the set part down, but the wait part's still a little hard for her. When that door gets opened enough that she can see all the way out, she's ready to go, especially in the morning. Coming back in from playing, she's much better. So we're making progress. We're still working on boundaries out here. I put her on, ever since the mud episode where she dragged me across the boundary and almost into the woods, I have been putting her on a stake, a tie that goes into the ground, and she still has plenty of room to run. We can still play ball and everything, frisbee and everything. I just gotta remember I gotta keep throwing it within her distance, her circle, and then whenever she gets too close to the sidewalk, I'll yell boundaries, and she's been really doing good about stopping. And then the other thing what we worked on Saturday, we worked on place inside the house, which means she has to go to her place and she has to stay there until we tell her it's okay to get off of it. And that's what the things that we've been working on mainly this past week. We still review the other things like back up, twist, spin, guard, heel. Still have to work a lot on the heel. We're also working on left, we're working on down, set, her usual regular commands that she learned a long time ago. We still review those each time. So that is what we've been up to. It's been one of those weeks where you just seem like if anything could go wrong, it went wrong. But we've dealt with it, and look, hopefully next week will be better. We do have we have a problem with a company that has X in its delivery. And a couple weeks ago, they delivered a package and just threw it near the edge of the road of the lane. Well, I got a text Friday saying that they were going to deliver one of my packages. And I go, okay. So I stayed, I was home in the time that they said they were going to deliver it. And then I get the message after delivery time saying the business was closed or no one was available at the area to accept the package. And I got mad. I called the company and I said, I don't understand this because I was home. It's not a business. So, it's home. And what's the tag on the door say? I go, they left no tag on the door because they weren't here. I said, I've been here. And there's nothing on the cameras showing anybody was here. My son's been here all day. No one has been here. So then they finally tell me that there was too many packages on the truck and he didn't get around to it. And I said, okay, that I can understand. But if you knew you weren't going to do it, because they said they knew it that morning. I said, if you knew it that morning, then why didn't you send me a text after the first text saying that there's been a delay? Instead of letting me sit around waiting for a package that you knew wasn't going to be here. So he finally, after arguing with him a little bit, he finally said, yeah, I was right. They should have sent me a letter. And they were sorry about the other, where they hadn't informed me at all about the package that was left on the line. So hopefully come Monday, hopefully I'll have my package. So, other than that, hopefully next week will be a better week as far as things going correctly and not going wrong. So I hope you have a good weekend. Remember to tune in on Wednesday and find out what I'm cleaning this past week, or, what I'm working on, what I'm cleaning, and what I got done. And then we'll go from there. I still have the petunias to replant, and I've got tomatoes to start next week. So like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.